Welcome to your Hot Seat Hotel Management Simulation tutorial video on market research. So we have our reports section, we have our decisions page, and third, we have our market research page. There are a number of reports that will appear here. Many of these reports have critical, important information that will help you out. Some of the reports have information that's a distraction and doesn't really help you make any decision at all. It's up to you to explore the reports and figure out what's important. Now, some of the reports have a cost. There are a few that are free. Once you purchase the report, the status will change from for sale to paid for, and you can display it at any time. In order to purchase a report, simply click on the purchase spot. So a couple that are very important is business advice and effective advertising. Those are absolutely critical to success. Business advice, when you display it, will give you some very important information. And this is definitely information that will change each time you go in the simulation. So first it goes through staffing levels. And it tells you that your front office, handling up to 200 customers per day, requires 6 staff. And for every additional up to 200 customers, you need an additional 2 staff. For hotel services, for every 100 occupied standard rooms, you need 9 staff. For executive rooms, you need 11. And for suites, you need 14. But you need to be able to analyze these numbers. So how many rooms are you selling per week to figure out how many staff that you need? It's also a very important number there, the maximum number of staff per department head. In this simulation run, it was 16. So if you have more than 16 staff per department head, that negatively affects performance. But if you have substantially less than 16 per department head, that will also be a drag on performance. There's also food and beverage staffing per 100 restaurant covers, but that is only the restaurant covers that this staff accounts for. The staffing level changes as you get fancier menus. But remember, your food and beverage staff also has to include staff if you've unlocked 24-hour room and lounge service. If you've opened banquet service, then you need staff to cover your banquet bookings. So lots of information here about your staffing levels. There's a current condition of facilities ranging from very poor to excellent, and this gives a percentage rating. And it has some critical financial information like your net property and equipment, cash at bank, overdraft amount available, current loan interest rate. So a lot of information here that can help you, especially the staffing screen. Whatever it is when you start a simulation, that will remain the same throughout the simulation. Now there's also the effective advertising. This is very, very important. So you have a number of different channels that you can use to advertise, and you have a number of different products. Again, this chart will always change. So in this simulation, the local newspaper had a small effect. The smaller the number, the less the impact on rooms. But it had a pretty big impact on meals in your restaurant and beverage sales in your bar, and somewhat on events. Conversely, the direct sales force had some effect on rooms, a large effect on executive rooms, a significant effect on suites, and a huge effect on conferences and groups. You can also see your TripAdvisor and loyalty program are in here. The effect of your PR agency is here. So this tells you what's most effective. But remember, if you've watched the advertising decisions video, there are different costs to all of these. So business press may have an impressive impact on weekday rooms, but it may be very expensive. And you may choose not to use business press. There may be other things that give you a similar impact for weekday rooms, but are available at a much cheaper rate. And you can't advertise everything to everyone, so you have to figure out where are your opportunities and what is going to move the needle for that opportunity. There's also a season planner here, so it tells you about some things that are going on, and a calendar. Now, please note this calendar is quite important. Although we look at monthly reports, it's not actually a calendar month. So it considers 4 quarters of the year, and each is 13 weeks and goes in a rotation of 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks. So January is the first 4 weeks of the year. The next 5 weeks are considered February, and the final 4 weeks are March. So you may see February with a little bit higher revenues than January or March because it does have that extra week in there to balance out the year. Every quarter follows the same category: 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks. 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks. So pay attention to that when you're looking at how numbers are looking, because there is a 5-week month in each quarter. This seasonal planner reflects the whole year and what generally happens in the market. And again, that is one of those pieces of information that could change. So there are a lot of other reports here that you might want to look at. Hopefully you don't need how to read the STAR report, and you remember how to do that from previous classes. You can look at a calendar of local events, but you can look at all kinds of different analysis items. So health and fitness market analysis. This team did not ever purchase it, but if I purchase it now, it opens up for me, and I'm able to get lots of information about the market for health and fitness clubs. And down here at the bottom, there's some statistics about health club membership. And if you read it in detail, you may find hints about how much you should charge for memberships and how many people might be available for membership in your market. It's a lot of information, and it does change every time you run the simulation. So it's worth looking through these during the early runs of the simulation and figuring out which ones of these do have information that's useful for you and which ones you don't really think are going to be relevant for your particular business strategy. As always, if you are finishing up with the software, log off.